for our community gathered here, for the spirit that called us together and drew us to this place, we give thanks this day. For moments we have shared with others, for times when we have reached out across barriers of distance and fear, for times when others have reached out to us, for moments when we have discovered another along our path. We give thanks this day. For this community of celebration and growth, introspection and solitude, for those moments of that peace which passes all understanding, we give thanks this day. For our gathering together out of distant places, for our weaving together out of many separate selves. This hour of celebration and worship, we give thanks this day. By Jane E. Malden. Thank you, the bell choir. That was beautiful. You all stand now as you are willing and able. We're going to sing together our opening song, number 67. We sing now together. Tell Tom and Sue Shade, our chalice lighters this morning.
It's on, right?
Yeah, it should be on.
Let this flame be to us a symbol of the wholeness we seek.
Its brightness
Dispelling gloom, lighting a path to faith and hope. Its glow reminding us of the sacred bonds that link us to all living things. Its radiance calling us to cast the light of freedom, justice, and peace upon all the world.
Please be seated. Good morning and welcome. I am Cindy Ladd Fiorini. My pronouns are she and her. I am one of the worship associates here, and I am joined by worship associate Michael Gardner, who uses the pronouns he and him. Michael and I are here in the absence of our interim minister, the Reverend Susan Milner, who cannot be here today as she is in Maine with her husband, who is hospitalized. She wants us to convey to you that she is appreciative of all the well wishes that she has received and that she is missing, being thankful with all of us as we consider the things that we are grateful for. As always, we gratefully acknowledge the Patuxet and Patuxet Wampanoag people on whose ancestral lands we gather today. We commit to support and honor their history and culture. And this is especially pertinent today as we are approaching what most of us here call Thanksgiving Day, but which the native Mashpee Wampanoags and other native groups call a day, National Day of Mourning. They do this to serve as a reminder of the genocide of millions of native people, the thefts of native lands, and the erasure of native culture. Since 1970, local indigenous people and their allies have gathered at noon on Coles Hill in Plymouth to commemorate the National Day of Mourning, honoring indigenous ancestors and native resilience. It is a day of remembrance and spiritual connection, as well as a protest against the racism and oppression that indigenous people continue to experience worldwide. All allies are welcome to join them. Today, we welcome all of you, members and friends and newcomers, including, of course, those of you who are joining us online. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, whatever your age, young or older, you, for this 1 hour, are part of this congregation, and you are welcome. Everybody is invited to coffee hour following the service in the Assembly Hall. Today is a very special coffee hour, as the young people in the church and their helpers will have prepared a Thanksgiving feast of soup and cornbread with hand-shaken butter and cookies. Please join them. Also, if you are visiting, please take a red mug so that we can offer you a warm First Parish greeting. And Jim Hamilton has a couple of quick announcements.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Hamilton, and I've got two roles here today. One is as chair of our upcoming holiday fair, not next Saturday, but the week after. There are sign-up sheets and additional posters. Marcy, thank you very much for the poster to sign. It's lovely. There are copies that you can take and post and give to your friends and make sure that everybody comes, but there's sign-up sheets for volunteer stuff, donations that you can make either to the silent auction or to Mrs. Kringle's area. You can sign up to work on greens or to help in the kitchen or serve. So lots of great things that you can do there. So see me if you have any questions or just have a look at those sign-up sheets. The other thing is, you may have seen in the bell ringer that as chair of the search committee for our next minister, our committee has put together a report on that survey. Remember the survey we were begging you all to take, and many, many of you took? We have a report here if you'd like to have a look at it. There's a link in the bell ringer where you can get the PDF. There are printed copies in the office. I think you'll find it very interesting. And it has allowed us to gather enough information to complete the congregational record that ministerial candidates will look at as they consider whether they want to apply to the job of being our next minister. So really exciting time. We'll know a little more in January as people start to apply. We'll go into more of a confidential mode at that point because you won't see those folks, but we'll be working very hard on that, our ministerial search committee. So that's it.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. I think you got a quiet month off for December, right, the search committee? Okay. Now is the time to sing our children out so they can go prepare our feast. And somebody give me a go now in peace. Go now in peace.
We'd ask you to turn to responsive reading number 512 in the gray hymnal. I will read the plain text, and we would ask the congregation to respond with the italicized text. We give thanks this day for the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. For this fragile planet, Earth, its tides and times, its sunsets and seasons. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and its achievements. For our human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared. But all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom. For human liberty and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose. Once every month, the congregation selects a charity or an organization with which to share our plate. And this month it is Guest at Your Table, and we are privileged to have Carrie Meyer here to explain a little bit about that organization and perhaps share a video.
Yes, I will share a video. Guest at Your Table is a program started by the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee 50 years ago to raise support for the people they help all across the world. Each year we give funds to the USC to support the work of communities which are most impacted by injustice. Unlike most charities, the USC allows the grassroots leaders of an impoverished village or town to work together to improve their lives and the lives of the local people who are suffering. Your donations will go to these people directly. In the video that we will show, you will learn more about the work of the UUSC and Guest at Your Table. Afterwards, I will explain how you can give to this important organization. Thank you.
Did you know that Unitarian Universalists have been coming together for decades to support? Did you know that Unitarian Universalists have been coming together for decades to support human rights through the Did you know that Unitarian Universalists have been coming together for decades to support human rights through the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee's Guest at Your Table program? During this special program, UUs of all ages learn more about important issues and the groups, or partner organizations, UUSC works together with to advance human rights. Working with community-based groups like UUSC Partners is a great way to get help directly to folks after disasters like a hurricane, and helps make sure the needs that are most important to communities are being Did you know that Unitarian Universalists have been coming together for decades to support human rights through the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee's Guest at Your Table program? During this special program, UUs
There's a first time for everything. I think this is the first time I'm asking Edwin to stop playing and interrupt the service. Apparently we have a technical difficulty with the video, so what I would suggest is that when Edwin is ready for the offertory, understand how this will work this morning. Any contributions you put into the plate, will go to the Guest at Your Table, and Carrie would like to explain it a little further. We'll tell you if you want to just make a contribution to the church for your pledge, you need to do that by writing in the note line of the check that this is for your pledge. Thank you. Carrie?
Yeah, I just wanted to include that if you write a check, you should write it to UUSC, the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, and then the money that you give will go directly to them. If you give $150 or more, the Shelter Rock Church in New York will double the amount you give, no matter how much you give, over 150. So I hope that you all will think about that, as this is a very important organization in the work that they do. If you look in your order of service, you will find pictures of 4 groups of 4 people that have been helped by Guests at Your Table. You may notice that 2 of them live in the United States. So this is all over the world, including our own country. There are people impoverished that need our help deeply. And I hope that you will think about that and give as well as you can. I appreciate all of your help so very much throughout all the church year. It is so wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carrie. The morning
Sorry
off-
about the video.
The morning offering for the work of this church and for our recipient and share the plate will now be gratefully received.
Another thing, you can bring a check to the church or mail it to the church for 2 weeks, and you can also give online if you go to Guests at Your Table or UUSC. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. The first reading today comes from Carrie Newcomer, a singer-songwriter and someone I really admire. It's called Three Gratitudes. Every night before I go to sleep, I say out loud 3 things I'm grateful for. All the significant, insignificant, extraordinary, and ordinary stuff of my life. It's a small practice and humble, and yet I find I sleep better, holding what lightens and softens my life ever so briefly at the end of the day. Sunlight and blueberries, good dogs and wool socks, a fine rain, a good friend, fresh basil and wild phlox, my father's good health, my daughter's new job, the song that always makes me cry, always at the same part, no matter how many times I hear it, decent coffee at the airport, and your quiet breathing, the stories you told me, the frost patterns on the window, English horns and banjos, and wood thrush and June bugs, the smooth, glassy calm of the morning pond, an old coat, a new poem, my library card, and that car that keeps running despite all the miles. And after 3 things, more often than not, I get on a roll, and I just keep on going. I keep naming and listing until I lie grinning, blankets pulled up to my chin, awash with wonder at the sweetness of it all. Carrie Newcomer. Please now rise as you are willing and able, and we are going to sing together hymn number 68, Come, Ye Thankful People.
Please be seated. The second reading is from a professional geologist and author of accessible books about geology, Marcia Bjornrud. Hello, Earthling. You might not be in the habit of thinking of yourself as such, but Earthling is your most fundamental identity. You have deep evolutionary roots in this planet. You are literally made of earth, of water that has recycled for eons through clouds and rivers and oceans, and of minerals in the soil derived from rock that was itself forged from the planet's interior. In modern times, technology and urban infrastructure create the illusion that we have gained autonomy from the natural world. But our ancestors were deeply aware of our underlying earthiness. In Hebrew, Adam means earth or clay, and the word human shares an ancient Indo-European root with humus, soil, a profound acknowledgement of our essential nature. If we were formed from the stony ground, stone also made us human. It was the medium of our first and longest technological age. In fact, we are still very much in the Stone Age, utterly dependent on rocks as a source for groundwater, building materials, fossil fuels, metals, elements of high-tech devices, and every other commodity that can't be cultivated, raised, or hunted. Yet most of us give little thought to this geologic infrastructure of the workings of the planet. Not stressed in schools, geology is often seen as non-essential. As a consequence, we are a geologically illiterate society, a condition that has only led to unwitting environmental degradation, but has also cut us off from a sense of our shared heritage as offspring of the earth. Marcia Bjornrud. Isn't it wonderful to hear the choir? We know that Reverend Susan would much prefer that circumstances allow her to be here today. Her absence makes us appreciate more deeply the wonderful leadership in church life and in worship that she has so skillfully provided for us over the last 15 months. For that, I'm sure that we are all truly grateful. Our prayers are with her and her husband. In the hurried planning that she was able to do with Cindy and me for this service, she gave us some very helpful suggestions. Here is how she described her intentions for this service in the November bell ringer. Quote, "Sometimes we end up grateful for unexpected things and experiences. Such gratitude may even help us heal. It's worth pausing to harvest the healing and insight that comes to us unbidden." End quote. As our second reading this morning highlighted some of the blessings that surround us every day. We are so used to them, we hardly notice how they have helped shape our lives and the lives of our forebears, going back in time beyond measure. Jefferson Airplane, a San Francisco-based rock group in the late 60s, had a song aptly named Crown of Creation, which includes the lyric, "Life is change, how it differs from the rocks." When first hearing it, I thought this message was semi-profound. But as the second reading implies, the band was wrong about the rocks. Rocks change too, all the time. It just takes a little longer. Deep in the Earth's crust and mantle, they form, break down, and reform, a metamorphosis that never really stops. Volcanoes spew cooked rocks out into our part of the world. Continents or tectonic plates collide and push up mountains, only then to be eroded by wind and rain and rushing water over the eons and eons that geologists describe as deep time. That erosion creates sand and clay, helping make the soil that sustains us and life on Earth. Then these crumbs are swallowed up in earthquakes and spreading fault lines. Eons later, these rocks reemerge as something else, somewhere else. Rocks evolve just like we do, like all life does. So what has this to do with gratitude, with being thankful? Well, as earthlings, it is helpful to remember that these mysterious processes created our home. Of all the billions and billions of planets in the universe, the Big Bang somehow landed us in the sweet spot, close enough to our star for comfort, but not too close. Able to attract water from crashing asteroids and comets, and maybe from hydrogen bubbling up from deep in the earth. Doubling down on this good luck, we've got a planet that is solid and liquid rock and minerals to its core. This is not a planet made up of gas, like some of the outer planets in the solar system. Instead, we have precious rock, solid and molten, that generates heat, which generates motion in the crust, which forms the continents and opens the seas, all of which have sustained the life from which we evolved. Thank you, rocks. For how can we not be grateful for that nearly infinitely improbable confluence of events, of interactions, of disruptions, the steady building, and then the slow or sudden decay that has made possible our presence, our ticket to ride on this beautiful blue boat with its granite, clay, and sandstone deck. This deck we call land. This deck we call home. How can we not but bless this land and our good fortune to be here. The cosmos being what it is, it's a miracle there is such a boat and that we've been able to book passage. And it's a miracle that we've been gifted with the time and the tools and the brain to help us understand something of how all this works, how all this made our earth, made us. Earthlings, rejoice. Against all odds, we found a home among the rocks, and it was good. Please join now in the spirit of prayer or meditation. Spirit of life, mystery of the universe, we give thanks for all the blessings this earth has bestowed upon us, including blessings from so far back in deep time that we will never truly know or understand them. We give thanks also for the blessings that we can smell, touch, taste, hear, or see. Blessings that are so abundant among us as we walk upon this earth. The smell of a wet dog or jasmine floating in the air. The pleasure of a favorite meal among family and friends. A chorus of spring peepers, Bach, and Jefferson Airplane. Snow in bright sunlight covering the branches of the trees before the wind takes it away. The wind on our cheeks, the caress of a loved one's hand. May we be open to all this when it comes unbidden and when we seek it out. May it help heal us in these troubled times. For this is the stuff of life. Life, as improbable as it is the gift we shall cherish to the end of days. May it be so. Amen. And now what we'd like to do is invite all of you who are interested to come up and light a candle of gratitude from the table up here. We'd ask you to queue up on the right-hand aisle, your right-hand aisle, the north side, and come forward. We'll have a mic. If you care to say 2 or 3 words about what you're grateful for, we would be pleased to hear that. Also, you can always pass. What we suggest is that you talk about a candle of gratitude for something that has blessed your life. And to those of you on Zoom, we will invite you to participate when everyone else is done. And Cindy and I will light a candle on your behalf. So if you're interested, please line up in the right hand aisle, and we will greet you here. Thank you.
Okay. I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful for this wonderful congregation that helped me through such a hard time this spring. Thank you.
I am grateful that my oldest daughter, Madeline, is moving back to Massachusetts.
I am blessed by my two extraordinary sons, that I have them in my life.
I'm thankful for grandbabies and my wife's recovery.
I'm taking my mask down. I'm Sherry Gardner, in case you haven't seen me in 3 years. I am incredibly grateful for this community and to be here. To hear the organ live, I mean, Zoom is great, thank you very much. And to hear the choir and just to feel your presence, I'm very grateful.
I'm grateful for good friends, those that I've gotten to know well recently and those I've known for many, many years.
My name is Mike Wilson, and I am grateful for brothers, sisters, children, and grandchildren.
I'm grateful for my grandma who plays in the bells.
I'm grateful for my family.
I am thankful for Michael Gardner's always thoughtful and always interesting perspectives.
As a member of more than 50 years, I am grateful for the people that are here now and grateful for all the wonderful people I've known that aren't with us any longer.
And I too am grateful to all of you for your kindness. Thank you. And Michael.
I'm also grateful for all of you. And as Marilyn Christman said, we're also with First Parish for 50 years. I'm also really grateful for my 5 grandchildren and 3 wonderful children.
I'm King Arthur. My nickname is Arthel, and I'm grateful for my family, and we have and I'm grateful for I have enough money for treat and food.
So this is the opportunity for anybody who is on Zoom to raise your hand or put it over your face so that Emma can recognize you. Make sure you're unmuted, and we'd love to hear from anybody. So you have to make sure you're unmuted if you would like to speak.
Hello. Hello.
So, this is
My name
Sally
is Sally
DeLisa.
DeLisa. I had a hip replacement on Friday at the Baptist. I'm incredibly grateful for an excellent surgeon and skilled staff. I'm up home and walking.
I'm at home, up and walking. Okay, all right. Thank you. Is it? All right. Thank you very much. I'll ask Cindy to light a candle of gratitude for me, for Lynn Marples, who came in this morning not expecting it. And I said, Lynn, the candles of gratitude haven't been set up. And he knew where the candles were. So. Thank you very much. Now, if you would please rise in body or spirit and join in singing hymn 1066 in the Teal hymnal, O Brother Sun.
I'm just going to come forward and extinguish our chalice as we read all together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you. The benediction today ends by Angelus Arian. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, and gratitude all around me. May it be so, amen, and blessed be.